And guys, today is all about we're going to come up with some unique marketing ideas. Some of you guys have probably heard. We got most experienced guys on here, but if you haven't, you might say Jamie is an idiot. That'll never work, and you might be right. All right, but it also might spark an idea. We were just talking about some of these Facebook groups on sometimes when you throw ideas out there, people will go on there. That's a horrible idea. They've never tried it. Like I'm a big idea guy. I love coming up with this stuff. And so that's why I'm kind of throwing it out in this group. But anyway, guys, this is a lot of you on this group has been a lot more successful than what little success I have seen. So please stop me if there's any questions, any input, and all that. So I'm just going to kind of run it through these. Um, these are ideas that are not easy to implement if you're an introvert like me, unless you're talking about business. I've just kind of shut down. I'm not talking about sports. I don't talk about all that. Talk about business and my family and Jesus. All right. So anyway, this is going to take some networking, marketing, and all that kind of stuff. But the first one that I am really heavily going after this year is schools and nonprofits. And what this looks like is twofold. It's backlinks to their local websites, which is going to help me really keep that number one spot on SEO, and it's also going to build the partnerships to be a school partner with our local high school. It's a little top of our um, niche customer, but it's $3,000. They've got a small little hospital here in town that they bought $3,000 worth of coffee equipment, and they brought it in for the teachers, and then their name is scrolled on the billboard. So every morning when kids are being dropped off at the school, it's thank you so much to our partners in education. The Howard Center is the name of the place. There's an insurance company that does it also. Chicken Salad Chick is a school supporter. So my business name should be scrolling. I just started this. So I wish I could give you some examples of details. But guys, to
What
me,
did you give them for 3,000 bucks? What did you
I'm
give them?
going to, what I told them is this, is I'm going to let them, they can choose three events of $1,000 each. They can choose four, but anything over 1,000, over 3,000. And then after that, we'll do our, just, it'll come back to us in payment. So when I rolled this out, I actually knew the lady who was the number two to the principal. When I rolled this out to them, she was excited. She said, you know what? We've been wanting to do what they call PBIS days. It's like student reward days down here. We've really been wanting to do this, and we've talked about this already. So I hit them up at the right time, right place. Now this is going to cost me. We do about a $2,000 end of the school year event with them every year. That is going to cost me. But she just emailed me earlier and she's already got two bookings. I don't even know what they're going to add up to, but she's already implementing what the things are going to be. So, yes, it will cost me that. But, guys, the whole point of this big idea of these kind of marketing ideas is to think outside the box. And so the $2,000 that I'm giving away is not really costing me 2,000 in a sense. Follow me here, but it's going to be to where I'm going to make up to where I know how I am when it comes to local supporters. Sometimes I'll give my business to them in better ways, more efficient ways.
Mhm.
So anyway, the other side to this is the backlinks.
Mhm.
Is the reason Bounce House Atlanta has the ranking, like you've got Bounce House Atlanta that shows up and then the Map Pack. Have you guys ever looked at them, researched them? It's mind blowing, but it's because they have backlinks from, I think it's the newspaper called Atlanta Journal Times, because they cover their big waterside event every year. And so when I was, studying this of like about backlinks and all this good stuff was I was like, oh wow. So they've got these big news reputable organizations. And so if you don't know what backlinks are, guys, that is another website basically vouching for your website. And so the more credible that website is, the more credible the ranking is going to be when they give it to you. Now you get into some things called do follow and no follow backlinks, but we're not going to jump into all that. A backlink is a backlink. All that is when they go on there and they said bouncehouseatlanta.com put on this event on this date, and then they write the story about it. Okay. Or it could be the best bounce house rentals in Atlanta, and then they put that snippet into a code or a link that link back to their website. The point of this backlink is the local authority is going to be well worth it. The same thing for nonprofits is I've been burned on this to where you guys have probably had this to where a nonprofit, like, fun run or whatever, these kind of runs that they do. Hey, will you guys, put a couple bounce houses out here? And I've said, yes, I'll do it. I want my logo on the back of the shirt with the other sponsors. And then I want you to shout me out on Facebook. I'm going to take this a step further this year with the backlinks. The legitimate non-for-profits, most of them are going to have a website. And so this is going to be a part of it. Now, here's the problem with the backlinks also, guys, is you're going to have to explain. You're going to have to educate them. And so when I hear the backlink, when people hear the word backlink, don't tell them, reassure them, guys, don't be afraid. This is not anything wrong. We're not asking. This is simply when you say thank you to my party rental company, you're going to put my website in there with it. Make it super easy explanation. And guys, these backlinks on these local non-for-profits and school sites are going to pay dividends for years and years and years. They're going to be worth their weight in gold, okay? So anyway, what's your guys' thoughts on that first one? That's kind of the first one topic there. What's your thoughts?
I had a couple questions. Is it $3,000 a year? Did you sign a contract, and can you leak that to us if you did?
I did not sign a contract. Great questions, Josh. So the lady who I'm friends with, is she just like, hey, I'm going to email you. That way we can have this. What exactly are the expectations for both sides? So what does the $3,000 in events include? And what does it not? And so like I don't own the dunk tanks at my company. I don't want to deal with dunk tanks. But I sub those out to somebody who partners with us. And so what I told him on the email, it includes everything except for dunk tanks and the DJ service. Those guys I just have on my website. So I didn't want to be coming out of pocket for a dunk tank, but they know obviously they're going to pay for that. So no contract, but I'm a small town. Okay. I'm about 40,000 people. I know this person. And so if the sign isn't scrolling, if they're not shouting us out on social media, because the other thing we're going to do with this also is we're getting a snowy satellite cart here in the summer sometime. And we're going to do like a teacher appreciation day to where we go in there at the beginning of the school year. And we just have somebody make snow cones for them, just saying thank you. I'm also going to do a free water slide giveaway that they get to choose for one of their teachers. And so I specifically told them, and that is when you post this to social media, make sure you shout us out, tag our business, because that's part of it, guys. If they don't uphold their part of the bargain, then it's not worth it. I have had one fun run that happened last October to where the t-shirts weren't even ready for the fun run. We never got shouted out on social media. And so it's just going to come up. This lady's going to ask me again to sponsor this. And I'm just going to politely tell her no. Say, listen, last year we didn't even get t-shirts. We didn't get what was promised to us. So like, I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to help you out this year. And I'm literally going to put it like that. I'm going to be as nice and whatever as possible. But anyway, what do you guys think? You guys think it'll work? What's your thoughts?
I think you're leaving way too much money on the table by not having a dunk tank. That's unbelievable.
Me too.
The amount of just events that will go with me just because I have everything.
I have dunk tanks,
And
Jamie. I have dunk tanks.
no. Uh,
I
you're
got 4 dunk tanks,
subleasing.
bro.
You're subleasing. You're leaving so much on the table. Sorry, I thought I was muted, by the way, earlier.
Am I in a
I was
Facebook
connected.
group right now? Am I in a Facebook group?
Yeah, the amount of
Man,
money you're leaving on the table is crazy.
I just did a $350 dunk tank journal this morning, so
They're
I'm with you.
250 over here.
But you
And
could
I'm
be
like,
350.
man, it's like I got to have a separate truck. You know what I mean? I'm just Y'all stay on topic, all right? But anyway, I'm excited about it, guys. Nobody else is doing this. Part of this also is you want to take your competitors' souls. And I believe if there's anything I've done good over the years is when they see my business name everywhere, Google, Facebook, they're seeing my Facebook ads. Part of it's for them because they're looking at it. They're seeing it because they're in the area, they're interested in it. But also when they see my business name up on that school, it's gonna be like, man, Springford's at it again, you know. So that's part of it also. That's a very small part, but still a part of it.
I'm gonna. Can I talk a sec? Can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm gonna hit the elementary schools. I got like 2 elementaries close to me, and I'm gonna go to them and see if they'll let me do some kind of flyer for the kids, like for A's and perfect attendance, and then just do a free drawing. And if I can get the school to participate and pass out something to all the parents, and then they put in for it, then I get away. If I give away one free thing to one kid, but there's 100 people that see my name.
Yeah. That's a great idea. Now, the thing you're going to run into is the schools are going to have guidelines with what you can send home. But like in my area, every time that circus comes into town, you can rest assured my kids are coming home with a flyer from the circus. So it's doable, but just know, you got to make that right contact. But it's a great idea. What better market? You're hitting your exact ideal market with those backyard parties. So
yeah,
I like
There's
it.
And my wife is a school nurse up in the Huntsville area. And at one time, which I was going to do this, but I don't know if they're still doing it anymore. They used to send out every week like a lunch menu, and she would bring that home to kind of see kind of what they were serving at their school or whatever and so forth. But I noticed on there, like the skate center would have like a little ad where they had, I guess, sponsored the lunch menu. And so that's something I actually thought about doing, but I don't know, with the age of technology, everything's going online now, if they're still sending out paper ones and so forth. But I mean, if you've got a school in your area that's doing that, that would be a good, you can do a little coupon or something on a lunch menu
Yeah.
that's going to go, it's going to get taken right to the home and put right on the refrigerator, so they know what their kids are going to be eating.
Especially if you can get a picture of that bounce
Hmm.
house with it somehow, if it's not in your logo, but you're spot on. The other thing that I have been wanting to roll out for schools, and I swear I'm going to do this year, is Kona Ice has up in some of our middle schools. They have the Student of the Month, and it's a big old advertisement on the cafeteria wall, and the teachers go in there and they put the picture of that student, and then when Kona Ice comes once a month, that student gets a free snow cone. So what I've always thought about, like, hey, let me partner with the school, let me put up my own advertisement, and they can do a student of the month, and that kid is going to get a free bounce house rental up to a $200 value. So, like, yeah, I mean, you guys know for our cost is what's it cost for us to go take out a bounce house really and clean it and all that. You know what I mean? So cost is going to be minimal on that. So I look at that and I'm like, man, I get my logo up there, and as a parent, obviously I saw the Kona Ice one up in the school. So it's something I'm approached. Now, my wife is a middle school teacher, God bless her. And so I have a little kind of in with her right there. But it's just networking. It's just simply, going and talking to people. You know what I mean? One thing I want to remind everybody is my failure from the rec department indoor bounce house day that flopped. Well, it actually didn't flop because I met the new rec director, and he didn't know who to go with for bounce houses. And so I walked him through, we're licensed and insured. We've been in business for 12 years. We got 100 units, blah, blah, blah. I walked him through it all before this. And so then after, who's he going to for the 8 events this year? We literally got 8 events scheduled throughout the year. And 4 of those are with other schools. Now, these schools we've already got, they know us and all that. But that flop of the weekend indoor event rental just from networking was well worth it. Now, if you guys are Y'all, I didn't go to IAP, but actually I went 2 years ago, but I didn't talk to anybody. And I went last year and I finally talked to people and I'm getting to know more and more people. But if you're like me and you're just like, you're not a big network person, like you need to be. You just got to go talk about your business. You got to go talk them, take a flyer in there, pamphlet, whatever you can offer and all that. So networking is a huge part of this. So anyway, all right, second thing.
Question for you.
Yeah, what you got, Josh?
So, hire an extrovert. That's the first thing. But the other thing is, how many school districts do you have in your area? So, like, I have 12 within my 30-minute radius.
That's awesome. The districts, we've only got the one district. But now, I mean, we service within a 45-minute radius. There's a lot of other school districts, so I don't even know the amount of number. But I would say, a few years ago, I was kind of bragging on Facebook about how many schools we served, and it was like 35 schools from that end of the field day season. So
Okay.
there's a good amount.
Okay. So, are you looking at just doing this with one school? Because,
It would start with one. Now,
okay.
as far as the partnership, I want to be careful with this. This is my hometown, and so
Mhm.
I've always heard it said best is you don't want to crap in your own hometown. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I would do that in another town. I am going to roll it out to one of our other schools who rents a large amount from us every year because I
Mhm.
want to give back, as part of it. But but yeah, I want to be careful with the partnership because I think you don't want to throw all of your revenue away, obviously. But
Mhm.
now here's the other thing, guys, is I might be able to partner with another school and be like, hey, throw me out a number. What would it cost to be one of the partners in education? They might say, hey, if you'll do a, $500 off. You know what I mean? Like you never know. You
Mhm.
let them talk first and let them negotiate it. So all right, second big idea is going to be based around all of the software drama going on. So this is with microsites. So when I bought out my competitor, Jumpin' Jays, the reason they were worth so much money is because of the website. They were taking up valuable space on Google. So not only their assets and their customer base, but their domain. So with the cost of ERS, it's going up. I'm going to be about $250 more per month from what I was paying $120 a month for. So the $120 a month, I'm just getting into the position of where is it worth it? And I know it's worth it. All right. Because when you see a lot of the top three in the Google Map Pack and the SEO rankings, it's me. It's either me, my main business, or my sister company. So, we've got a really good hold on that market. I'm not going to give that up, but the microsites is going to be a part of this to where I know I was talking to a rep from IO today, and they were saying, help me out, Chad, here, but they were saying that they believe it's $60 for what ERS calls a microsite. A microsite is basically if you have a mini golf game and you want to brand this on a different domain and a different website, but you want to tie it back to your main store. So one store, different domain, different websites. Well, to do that with ERS, they charge you an extra $80 a month. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. When they came out with that concept, it made me mad because I feel like you're price gouging. Now, if a customer doesn't know how to do it, that's one thing. But my lord, $80 a month in perpetuity, like just build a city landing page. But anyway, that's my rant. That's my soapbox. Chad, does that make sense of what I'm talking about with the microsite? Like, how do you know how much IO charges for that? You're on mute, Chad.
I'm not. I assume it's around $50 if you. Well, I don't have a clue how they do the microsite thing. So they have um like what they call multi-location, but they do it two different ways, and so but those are $50 a month for that, and you
That's
get a
kind of what the lady was, Jessica. She was kind of alluding to was. It sounds like you guys are wanting to do a multi-location.
yeah. Yeah, that's what IO would call it, as a multi-location. Um, and so, I think they're about $50 for
50
that.
bucks.
Yeah, and
Okay.
but I mean, if you, I mean, there's so many workarounds with it. You could probably just do your own hosting, whatever you're using. Go high level, right? So you could probably just get your own landing page there, and then just link to your main page if you wanted to. I know people that have done that.
Chad is taking all my mojo right now. All right. No,
I,
that's exactly the idea of when I heard ERS's price hike, that I'm like, okay, how can I do this affordably? And just like Chad said, is you can create as many domains as you want. And then you just tie, like, I'm going to have this um, other company under that domain. And then when somebody is going to click on the bounce houses to see the options, it's going to take them to my main store website page. So I can bypass all it's going to cost me is the domain. Here's the problem with it. And here's where, honestly, guys, if you all can help me out, I'm going to tell you my solution. But the problem is when I'm taking them from my Jumpin' Jays page, the company I bought, back to my main page for the bounce house rentals, they're going to see my Spring Forward logo. And if they click the home button, it's going to take them to Spring Forward. And we all know we have to keep our websites as streamlined and as simple, stupid for our customers as possible. Now, my solution for this could be to, at the top of the bounce house landing page for the store, is to put in a link to go back to the Jumpin' Jays homepage. Click here. Am I confusing my customers? Because I can literally, with Go High Level, I can create all of these website pages for free. It will be no additional charge. That's the plus. Now, I'm not really crazy about the templates on Go High Level. Um, they look, they just don't look, they look cheap to me. But I could also do with a WordPress website for super affordable and really customize them, and then have the SEO just really in place. So that's my
So,
solution, but that's also my problem.
Jamie, for us, with the Princess Company, we just put by the Dunk Tank Company underneath of it. So it's got its own URLs and it's routed to just city landing pages kind of style. But it says on there by the Dunk Tank Company, and on the marketing it says by the Dunk Tank Company, because nobody knows the Princess name, but they all know my name.
Okay. Okay.
So that was another thing, just to, and you could put, J&J Jump or whatever by Spring Forward Inflatables,
Yeah.
and that would at least tie the two brands together if the customer reads. So
I see
Yeah,
Tony wheels
or
are
something
spinning.
like, or kind of like what he was saying, like put it like as a sister company of, you know, Spring Forward Inflatables and so forth. That would be one way, and then kind of, even though it's separate, you can see, that it is still part of your little streamline, so to speak. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so, and then they will then get confused on that and so forth. If
Yeah.
someone says something about it, just say, well, we use one order base so things don't get overbooked.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Good point. So once I rolled this idea out of the microsites, I'm like, I'm gonna just build microsites for all of ERS customers. I'm gonna charge them $50 a month. I'm gonna build as many pages as they want, just take all their business. Because I was mad what was it, last Friday? Because I'm sitting there adding up, thinking I was gonna be paying $1,044 a month. Um, anyway, does anybody got anything to say about ERS or all that drama?
BCN is still $99 a month, but if you want a satellite website, it's also another $99 a month. So
Really?
it's cheaper there.
Yeah. Tell me, Jamie. I know you got something you want to say. Anyway, guys, that's the microsite side of it. If you're not doing that, is something that will, if you've got mini golf, trains, mechanical rides, any high ticket item that you really want to separate yourself with more than a landing page, it's definitely going to be worth it. So these are different from the landing pages because that domain. I'm gonna give Mark props here. Mark was given advice, kind of old school advice, but it still works. He went in there with water slides, tents, and events or something like that of Lakeland. And man, he's only had his website up and all that, and he's number 11 organically. The map pack, he's coming up number 2 with how long you been in business, Mark?
Uh, since June 10th. So what's that? 9 months, but I've
So
only had
9 months. He's coming
website.
up number 2 when you search water slide rental, Lakeland, Florida. Like, so anyway, there's something to that. It just reinforces the point of when you are going to do a micro site and you're doing like mechanical train rental in your area, and you can have something like that in the domain and all of that, it's definitely worth it. So, third one, email campaigns. Guys, I am guilty of this. I have thousands of customers' name on in my database, and I do not do email campaigns. Now, I'm not talking about abandoned carts. I'm not talking about the 60 days before their event was a year ago that they're going to get an automated email. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, stuff like campaigns of, hey, we're getting these new inventory pieces in. We are expanding into this area, you know what I mean? Or we're running this sale, you know what I mean? Or, hey, to all of our valued customers, here's a $10 off coupon. Whatever it may be, I am so guilty of not doing this. And that's something I'm going to improve this year. I am going to roll out my first one, and I'm going to base it off of the non-for-profit charities. And I'm going to say, hey, guys, you're getting this email because you're a past customer. We want to partner more with non-for-profits. And if you know of a good non-for-profit, please send them our way. Or if you would like us to reach out to them. And so what this is going to communicate to my customers is goodwill. And then it's also going to touch base with them. We're going to be in their inbox and all that. So the list goes on and on and on. But if you're not doing them, you 100% need to be. Does anybody have any like successful email campaigns they've done throughout the years with this type of thing that has worked?
I hadn't done it long enough to do anything.
Does BCN have? Do they capture the emails? Can you go back in and see your customer's database?
It's not as nice as IO, but yeah, I can go in and I can see it's like their email and then the name and then how many upcoming and past. It also tells me the total balance that they've done. So I could probably go in and just make that a spreadsheet and then export out the emails. There's a CRM of some sort. I just haven't dabbled with it because I've never done that.
I got you. I got you.
But so yeah, there is a free included CRM. I just don't use it.
Got to remember with all this marketing stuff is the only bad marketing is no marketing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not active on your Facebook page, your social media pages, you're hurting yourself. If you're not posting updates to your Google business profile, you're hurting yourself, not just because you're not in front of customers, but
Mm-hmm.
also because if a customer comes on and you haven't posted in 3 months, a year, maybe longer, they're going to ask, is this business even open? So it's very, very important to keep this marketing stuff going on. The last idea, some of you have heard this before I did a video on this, but last year, big idea was we do a lot of backyard birthday parties. And so how can I affordably give everybody a birthday card with something special from Spring Forward? So what we did is I ordered birthday cards, just generic birthday cards off of Amazon. They look nice. I had stickers made up with our logo, and that way I didn't have to hand sign all of these. And I put our sticker in there. After it said happy birthday, I stuck the sticker on the card. And I wanted to give them something special. And so I was like, a $2 bill is so unique. And so anyway, I had these in my driver's trucks in Ziploc bags to keep them clean. The person I have scheduling these the day before would ask when they were setting up the delivery time, is this for a birthday party? Yes, if it was, then in the notes section on the driver app, we would put birthday party. So then our driver, after they got done setting up, they would hand the card to the parents or whoever there was for setup. And they say, hey, give little Timmy this birthday card from us. And the whole mindset was once they open these up in front of all the parents and all that, they're going to, what I do this as a parent. Whenever my kid's opening something up, I'm like, who is that from? Because I want to make sure they say thank you to the people at the party. And so that was the mindset. We tested this. I did like 150 of these. And I had one person on Google, on a Google review, leave a remark about this. So my question on TikTok was, did I do enough test cases of this? Was it even worth it? Here's the thing about it. Ain't nobody in my area doing nothing like that. You can rest assured. Somebody on TikTok gave the information. They were like, don't stick the sticker in there, just leave it in there because kids love to get a sticker and go place it somewhere. So, you know what I mean? So even if you put a couple stickers in there, that would be something I would do differently. But for less than $3, I had into this thing just to go above and beyond and show the customers that we cared. You know, I want to try it again. I don't know.
So
I think it's a good idea. I might steal it from you.
Steal it.
in the wedding industry, they would send a 1 year anniversary to the couple. So that's another thing. And we've talked about actually getting people into the birthday, like a birthday club type thing, where we then constantly just send them letters saying happy birthday. I don't know if I want to do that or not, how I would feel like, 10 years later, like, hey, thanks for having your birthday with us.
Let me throw this idea at you, Josh.
Yeah.
The way to market that for your business is to send them a birthday card 2 months before their kid's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Put their kids, if you can get their kid's name, you know what I mean? This is where you're going to have to get creative. But send it like, hey, I know your kid's birthday is 2 months away, but we just wanted to say happy birthday. And think about us if you're needing the bounce house or water slide. It's something, for the cost of postage, time, and the card, you could have a very, very price effective. I was talking to somebody yesterday, it might have been Tony, but we were talking about the cost of customer acquisition for new customers on Google is a good conversion rate is, $40-$45 for a cost of conversion. And so if you can do something to keep a customer that you've already proven to, and you can do it for $3, man, what better?
We also, we were 85% corporate 2 years ago. And so we have a lot of corporate connections with restaurants and specialty shops and stuff like that. One of the things we've tossed around was working with like a dessert cookie shop, something like that, where they could then also insert a card. And so it didn't cost me anything, but it gave one of my corporate connections a little bit more value. And like, hey, put in a buy one, get one free cookie, or here's a free cookie for your birthday. And so it allowed us to use our network to get a little bit bigger.
It's a great idea. Great idea, man. That's another marketing idea is partnering with other businesses in your community, like a birthday cake, whoever makes cakes. We got a couple in my town, but going in there and be like, hey, introduce yourself and just say, obviously our stuff goes together. So would you mind? And I'll try to send business your way. You send business my way. When it comes to a partnership I've had success with is we've got a sweet lady named Joy, who is a face painter. She's phenomenal. She's so good with the kid. I met her at an event. I don't want to be in the kids' face painting business. I don't want my drivers to be. I'm not going to be in it. But I want to be able to refer people when they're on my website. Matter of fact, I even came up with packages back in the day to where I was like face painting, bounce house, tables, chairs, you know what I mean? And then I upcharge for the face painter And then what I would do is you had to call to reserve that. So I would touch base with Joy, say, hey, are you available on this date? I was sending her business and she was sending me business because who was she referring? She was referring me for bounce houses. And it got me some bigger church events. I remember I haven't talked with her in about a year, but it's something that I need to revisit because if you can make those kind of relationships,
Yeah,
that's where,
I just got hooked up with a cookie lady and a mobile bar, a company that does mobile bars where they drive around those fancy horse trailer looking barns or a roll up
yeah,
bar and stuff like that. So I got two different things like that.
I love it. That's a great idea. Anything is that's going to help you get your name out there. And I'll say this also, guys, is when it comes to your own competition in your area, there are people that you can network with. There are people that you can become friends with. Now, there's some people in my area that I just have nothing to do with. They're unethical. I've seen some of their equipment is super dirty. Like, I'm just not gonna, if you call me up and you say, hey, you got an extra blower, I'll help you out. But we're not gonna partner together, when it comes to and all that. But, I had somebody who used to be in the business and he called me up 2 days ago and he was like, man, I'm only gonna have 3 water slides. And I got all these schools that will call me or churches, whatever the event is, and he doesn't have any combos. It's just water slides. He owns a jelly ball facility, so that's his main bread and butter. But he was like, would you want to partner together to where, if they want 7 units, I'll give him my 3, then you cover the other 4. And I'll say, absolutely. I know he takes care of his stuff. I know it's going to be clean. And so he's not going to embarrass me when he's out there. You know what I mean? So anyway, what other kind of ideas? Has anybody seen any kind of ideas or tried ideas that are just out there, not Google ads, Facebook ads, not retargeting, anything like that other than like Mark dancing?
So the other one that I was thinking you're missing is grad parties, um, giving seniors something.
Yeah.
So just
That's a big weekend. That's a big weekend for us. We
Mhm.
sell out every weekend with graduation parties.
Yeah.
Great
So
idea.
giving them a card, I've always thought would be a good one.
Yeah, and even in that, you could just give them a graduation card,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't have to put a $2 bill in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually upcharge the last 3 weekends of May, 15% for grad season. So
What are you
it's been
guys
fun for
upcharging
us.
for July 4th?
20.
I am too. I
Does
didn't
every,
do it
Nope.
last year, and we sold out like a month before. And I was like,
Unbelievable.
I'm an idiot. I'm not doing this again. So yeah,
I will say, don't be impatient though. Like it's not it'll fill out eventually. Like you might be like, man, we're not. We need to take this off, or don't be impatient. Like it'll still fill out
customers are going to find the cheaper option if they see
first.
that you're doing it. But like that's a great point, Jamie. They're
what
going
do
to
y'all what do you mean by upcharge? You're going in the website and just uh,
Yeah, so
raising
what
all.
you can do, Mark, is you can go in on IO and ERS, and July 4th, you will sell out. There's no doubt about it. You won't do your dry units, but all your wet units are going to sell out. So you can go in and you can set that date to I want to charge $50 extra per unit. Like what Jamie's doing, what I'm doing is 20% extra per unit. And so we know it's going to sell out. So it's kind of like a hotel. You get a really busy weekend down at Daytona for the Daytona 500, and all these prices of these hotels are skyrocketing. It was like a normal $150 night at a hotel is now $400 because they know supply and demand.
Is this something everybody does?
I think
Not
so.
everybody,
Everybody
but
should.
Gareth said, yeah, a lot of people do. So don't feel bad about it. Though you're not price gouging. Now, if you're charging double, you know what I mean. You're going to get into the price gouging. But
I just, like you know how it is right here, man. I feel like everybody's just cheap. I had a unit down the road that I could have did a water slide to, but they went with the guy who's been around 20 years that everybody knows his name. I don't want to say his name, right? But everybody knows him. I haven't been in it long, but most of the people that tell me they say something, they complain about him, but everybody goes with him because he's always doing a 20% off or 25% off. And they're like, his neighbor was my friend, said, hey, how come you didn't call Mark? He's like, well, I should have, but he was $50 cheaper. They brought him a slide. The pool had a hole in it. Pool wouldn't stay inflated. They couldn't get water. They had to bring him another slide. And he's like, well, you got what you paid for.
Yeah.
You know, so
they're not going to call that guy next time. They're going to call Mark next time.
Yeah,
Remember this
you may
with
lose
pricing.
them 1 year,
Go ahead, Garrett.
but they'll come eventually.
Yeah. Yep.
I was saying you may lose them for 1 year, but they're eventually going to come. And then if you add that 20% on, like you were saying, if you're not doing it, you're just missing out on money because they will come. We tried this last year off of Jamie's recommendation, and we were floored. We made twice the amount we normally make, strictly because we did 1 days and we did 3 day, so it equaled out a double what we were making, and it half the work.
Yes.
That was this Jamie. Get on
here right now.
You'll be like, I don't remember saying that. You know?
That was this Jamie.
The ugly Jamie.
Hey, Garrett, how many units do you have?
Who you talking to, Mark?
Garrett, how many units do you have?
I have 70.
Okay. I guess I need to step up my game. I only have 20. So.
There was a point. All of us only had 20. You know what I mean? So,
2 years ago.
Yep. Mark, remember this. With the price, people discounting, the only one person that wins on the race to the bottom is nobody. Nobody wins. So never compete on price. I don't care if you're $200 more expensive than that other guy. When they have that experience with somebody like that, they're going to be calling you next time because their 5-year-old son's water slide pool had a hole in it. And they might not go on Google and leave a review, but they're going to remember it. And so when you keep delivering quality and all that clean units.
Right. Everywhere I go, it's his name. It's his name, and it's his name because he's been around 20 years. But
don't you hate that?
I don't think he updates it. He hasn't updated his stuff. He does bigger. I mean, he's got a hold on this Lakeland area, really. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how. Like I said, I don't know how because I've heard people say so many things. And hell, before we got in this, my daughter rented one from him, and I told him it had a hole in the thing going into the bounce house. And they're like, don't worry about it. Just so I think that's what
the cheap customers are the worst customers anyway. So the cheap customers are absolutely terrible.
Yes.
So I think so too.
Yes.
Well, and to go on what Jamie was saying, if that ends up happening and they end up getting a bad customer anyways, it's not just they're going to remember it. They're also going to tell their neighbors, their friends, their family. And now you're getting those customers too because they're going to come back and say, I should have gone with that guy.
Yeah. Yep. And Mark, I love what you're doing, man. Like with the dancing and all the funny stuff, it's memorable. Like I'm sitting here talking about it. You make me laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just remember that, man, is, your pricing, you're in that funky market down there, man. I don't know how you guys make $1 in that area, but
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? It's either people are going to come in and out of business and you're not making a profit, or you're going to raise your prices up to where you're making a profit. Because I can tell you this, it's like the Canadian tariffs or Mexico tariffs is when ERS raises our prices, like I'm not eating that cost. Like I'm passing it on. It might be small or minute, but you can rest assured. It's like I'm not going to sit back if it was that big price increase. You know what I mean? But as the Google ad cost of conversion goes up, as Meta ads cost of conversion goes up, I'm going to pass that on to my customers, because if we're not making money, we're just doing this as a hobby, and this hobby ain't that much fun as a hobby. So
no.
Right.
Where did you end up, Jamie, with your price increase? Was it $1,000 a month?
It was not.
Oh.
That's where ERS did a horrible job at explaining the price increase.
Right.
I was a little over $500 with my second site and my main site. That's with Go High Level, all that stuff. And I will be at $750 per month if I keep that second site the way it is.
Gotcha.
waiting for them for clarity on like, can I call this second site a microsite at $80? Or it's spurred on this other idea of like, I'll go create my own microsites. I'll run some Facebook ads and get as many people as I can. Pay me $50 a month. I'll make you a little website, you know? So kind of ticking me
Yeah.
off. But anyway,
I
you
heard you
see
say
how
that.
much
I'm
hate
taking
they
that, by
have
the
from
way.
everybody. You know what I mean?
I heard him say $50 a microsite. I'm in.
Yeah. So Jamie, when you said that, I think it was a TikTok comment. I literally thought you were just going to go rogue and make your own booking software. That's what I was thinking, and I was like, he could probably pull it off.
Let me tell you something. The whole idea of school right here is when I roll out this social media marketing software is I want to have people that like I know and that I can beta test it, but then also who are clients who can pay for the service and find value. But that is my ultimate goal is to create my own rental software. It's just
I would,
it's a big
that
old
Dave Barnes just came out with one, which I thought, Dave Barnes is, he's done a lot of stuff for me. I really like him.
smart
But
guy.
I thought that was smart that he came out with that. And
Yeah.
his little company's starting to grow too. They got marketing and print material. They're starting to help out
And
like
I'll
the
tell you
whole
this about Dave
business.
Barnes. I see a lot of his websites at #1 around the country. So
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
timing helped.
Are y'all blocking? Are y'all blocking like just the week of the 4th of July, or like July, or like how are y'all blocking that certain date out?
It's from, I think I got mine from Wednesday until the following Wednesday of 20% increase or something
I
like
got
that.
my Monday.
I've got mine just on Friday to where it's 20% extra if you're booking that day. Because some people just do a 1 day
Mhm.
booking on that and be able to turn them around. But
So you're just went up on Friday, 4th of July, not Saturday, not Thursday, or nothing like that. Just that particular day.
No, you want to do, if you're going to flip them, you want it for Saturday as well. You could do the 20% throughout the whole weekend. That's what we're
Yep.
doing. And we're going to flip some. I mean, like our biggest ones, we have two 27s, and those are rented both days already. And that's like $900 or something like that for the each one. So we're going to be flipping them. I tried to block it. I was going to leave it all weekend and just kind of have that holiday off, but there's just too much money on the table.
Mhm.
There's no way.
it's one of those weekends that in January you're like, man, if I could just have a July 4th weekend, you know?
Every weekend.
I took that week off because I still work a regular job. I'm not Nick Glass that I can't just throw my shit out and just throw my job out the door and rent water slides until I do make it. So I have to keep working for a little while. But
And thank God you're not Nick Glassett.
where 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 did I just lost my train of thought. Oh, but we only had I think 6 or 7 water slides, and we started June 10th, so June, July, and we did rent everything, and nobody really knew who we were other than friends or word of mouth. So uh, hopefully we rent all 14 out this week because now I got 14 water slides. So hopefully they all go out multiple times.
Oh, yeah, you keep doing what you're doing. You got a great map pack ranking and all that. So,
I feel like Lakeland would be tough. I feel like Lakeland's tough. I feel like Orlando's extremely tough to make money with it. But we were talking earlier about the idea of basically like how you structure it. There's one guy, he's right outside Orlando, and I was helping out a friend with his website, and I ran into that guy, because I was looking up his competition, and he basically will leave it all weekend long, but he charges $400 combos, and I'm like, I'm talking to my buddy Milton. I'm like, dude, look at this guy. He's in your neck of the woods. He's charging double, and he's leaving it all week. You leave it anyway. You leave it all weekend anyway. So, that's something to think about. And he seems successful. And he's got a nice inventory. He's got a ton of units, and he's right in uh, Kissimmee, Orlando, and stuff like that. And it's tough to compete there. So he found a way to make more money by just leaving it, I guess. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know him personally, but I was surprised to see somebody in his neck of the woods
Hmm.
getting $400 for a combo.
guys,
Um,
prove me that I'm wrong on this theory. When you get a low price market like that, outmarket them. Am I wrong? Am I missing something? Like, do more dances, Mark. You know what I mean? Like, up your prices. give great quality, clean, show that steps, that process of you actually doing it. And then, because man, I'm telling you, like, there was a guy in my area that was donating to schools and churches for free. And I had a couple customers that I didn't want to deal with. There were headaches, they were pain, they always talking about price. And I was like, you know what? There's this guy up in 20 minutes away from my city, and I heard that he does churches for free. Usually these were pastors, by the way. And I was like, here's his number, call him. But so anyway, I was giving him the rough customers. But here's my point is like, he's no longer in business. And that's the same thing. Like if you're not making a profit, you're not going to be a business. Mr. Beast is doing this chocolate bar thing, and he's got big, big plans for that, whatever that company is. But he's like, we want to make a difference. We want to get children out of child labor in Africa, but we got to make a profit. We got to show that it is sustainable. And that goes with this also. Like, man, if you want to do this and deliver all these by yourself and not be able to hire help and charge $100 for a bounce house, be away from your family.
I will say, I do think there's an attraction to being the most expensive in the market too. Like there is an attraction to being the expensive company in town if you have the reviews to back it up and things like that. I think we do. We have 600 reviews now. We just hit that this week. But we are the most expensive in my market. But you know, if your wives are anything like mine, she finds her way to the most expensive thing anyway. So these are our customers looking at this stuff, right? So I do think there is an attraction to being expensive.
Yeah, and Jamie and I have talked about this, but and those are the customers I want.
Yeah.
Like the higher end customers, not just because of the amount of money it brings in, but those are the customers that most of the time they're actually fairly easy to work with. The bad's usually a little bit nicer. It's got a bigger yard for me to put in. Everything about it seems to go a little smoother. They know where they want it. They know how they want it, and they let you do your job. So I'll take that. I'm the highest in my area by far. Jamie can attest to this. My combos go out for what most people's 25 foots are going for. So it's the nature of the beast, but I love it because my customers are amazing, and they recommend us to other customers in the Panama City, Destin area. So we just kept on growing.
Yeah,
and I'm not an older company, so
yeah, our prices are like right there with everybody because I stock everybody's stuff all the time, and we're right there. You know, $5-10 less or $5-10 more. We got mostly double lanes. I'm gonna start getting some single lanes, but the thing is, they start doing these BOGOs and they start doing these 25% off, and I'm like, well, I don't want to give a discount to every single person I'm giving something to. Like, I want my full price for my unit because, I swear, y'all know Bounce Wave or whatever, but nobody has them. There's a few people that have them, but I mean, they look better than everybody else's crap around here. So I just feel like, you know, it's worth what we're charging. That's kind of my rant. But I did just message my website people.
And the problem is a lot of these people are they find that, well, if I can make $100, I'll just make $100. Yeah, but $100 isn't paying for your repairs. The $100, when you get to a bigger size, which you should be planning for now, that $100 doesn't pay for your maintenance fee. It doesn't pay for your guys to go out there and do it. That's why I always told Jamie, I'm not leaving my house for under $300 to $400. I'm not leaving the house. My guys are not leaving the shop for anything less. Why? Because our time is worth more than that. The amount of marketing you're putting in, the amount of time you put in, it's worth more than that. It's worth more than the 20% discount or the 40% discount that some of these people are doing, or the free church drop. I do give a church discount. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't. I'm a 14-year pastor. I give a church discount. But with that being said, I'm not doing it for free. And usually they're actually upping their order when they find out I give that discount. They'll up their order even more. And so I'm in. Let's go. Come on. Bring it on in.
And that's the thing about churches. I do the same thing with churches and schools is I give about a 10% discount because they're going to come back every year and they're going to use it. And it's not just one unit. They're booking a lot of times 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. with us. So it's worth its weight in gold. You know what I mean? So don't price your pricing structure with your own pocket. If you're working a minimum wage job, if you're struggling, if you look at stuff like it's expensive, let somebody else price your stuff, okay? Because that's the problem is sometimes you get some of these side hustles with people and they're like, oh, I don't got money to go eat McDonald's today. And they're like, oh, $100 is just too much for a bounce house. You know, we need to price it at 75. Like, you go look at, don't price it with your own pocket. You know what I mean? So, so anyway, I'm going to raise my prices because the week long person in my area, he's more expensive than me. But I'm here to tell you, like, a lot of customers aren't looking at that. They're not looking at, oh, I get it for a week, I'll pay a little bit more. They're looking at it as the same price because he doesn't cheapen his price for a 2-day rental, 1-day rental. It's the same price. And so I'm kind of the same way. I want to be the most expensive in my market with that, so.
Yeah, I just talked to BCN, so they just walked me through how to add 10%, 15% for the July 4th weekend. So I'm fixing to go in here and start changing that for somebody book something.
All right, now how are we going to
Yeah.
divvy that out between Jamie? Who else came up with that idea? So 20% cut or,
It's your people to get with my people, my HR and my account processing. And we're usually on a 60, 90-day checks in the mail, kind of thing.
Hey, Mark, honestly, since it's your first time and you think you're getting close, to July, you're in August or something, or, just be patient. Be patient, let the schedule fill out because it will fill out eventually. So don't get nervous if you don't have everything sold because you think your price is high. It will sell.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll start. I mean, it makes sense. I'll just probably start 10% and see what happens.
It is
I
funny
have
watching website traffic on the back end of Google Console on the multiple clients I have of watching at July 4th, that literally like the week before up to July 4th, it just goes through the roof on the demand of waterside rentals. And so far, it's been in all the areas that I've ever looked at that. I'm like, of course, Google Console, we're a seasonal business, so there's always natural rolling hills to the way people search for these terms. But I always kind of laugh at that. We get a huge spike, and then Google's like, okay, no, this is not a national company. This is a local company. Let's calm them down a little bit. So anyway, but yeah, definitely.
We get that same spike for spring break here.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a significant increase for spring break because we have the college kids that come down here to Panama City for spring break, so it spikes. So we did a 10% increase this for the next 3 weeks.
2003, I was down there in PCB. Oh my Lord!
Yep,
I've given my heart to Jesus.
Getting in trouble, I'm sure.
Memories I will never share with my kids or my wife. So anyway, see if I got anything else.
So we ended up making our own coffee, and so we just got connected with a roaster, and I let my business partner. I don't drink coffee, and my business partner didn't either. So we just let science kind of determine what the flavor was. But if you drink coffee, you can probably make a better
it's gonna
coffee.
be good.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Actually, a lot of people really like it. We've got the YMCA considering to switch to us and everything. So what we do is we actually send that out as a thank you to some of our higher paying ticket items as well. But we've been thinking about doing like giveaways. And so I've got a local donut shop that I'm well connected with. And so donuts and coffee for the teachers or something like that is what I'm thinking. A low barrier of entry for me because I'm wholesaled into the, $30 for a 2-pound bag of coffee, 5-pound bag of coffee that they can grind up at their church and then or at their school. And the only thing that I'm wondering on, so the hockey team does this where they do it on a Google form because it'll automatically track all the winners and stuff. Is there something BCN or maybe it's high level or something? Is there a form that you know of that I can do something similar but keep it on my website, or can I keep the form on my actual website embedded in there?
Absolutely. Go high level is the way to go, man. They
Okay.
got the codes you can track it all back to. Then you can go back and check all the analytics. You can have them opt in, all kinds of different good stuff. Go high level 100% is the way
Okay.
to go for that.
Trying to get my time up on my website.
Yeah. Yeah.
J- Jamie,
Can
you have
they?
ERS high level?
I do. Yep.
I need to sit and talk with you then, because I'm not using it enough at all.
Now, do you have Go High Level? Do you got ERS? We cut out there.
Yep. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Do you have Go High Level and ERS and all that?
Yes, I do.
Now, hey, I will tell you this. I'm not an ERS expert or Go High Level. The person to reach out to with that is Ishmael, the jumper man. You've probably seen him in the groups.
Yeah,
He,
I've talked to him a lot.
do you really? Yeah, dude, he is the man. Tony has given me testimonials of how much he has helped him. And of course, Ishmael, I mean, he's good as gold, man. But even if he charges you for his time to sit down and like list it out, it would be well worth it. You would see that paid back. Tony, how did he sat down with you at a hotel, didn't he?
Yeah, it was I think it was about 3 years ago, either right after COVID or right before COVID, and we spent about 3 or 4 hours at a hotel. He was down here at a conference or something, and we spent about 3 hours, and he went through my website and showed me how to do all kind of add-ons on the back end of it and all this type of stuff. And that's when I saw my company, start really jumping. The average sale going up by $200-300.
Yeah, he's got stuff that like when they're at the party, they'll get a text message and be like, "Hey, if you refer a friend, give them this $10 off coupon." Like, and it's send them a code. It's all this
Very
good
smart.
stuff. I need to incorporate. I don't have incorporated because I hate tables and chairs and I don't do any concessions and all that. But I need to integrate it.
Got all that stuff. Yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah. But anyway, hey, appreciate you guys being on. Hopefully, you got some value. It's always good talking to you guys. Appreciate new guys being on here. I love learning. I love that we don't necessarily get the Facebook hate like the dunk tanks, today. So, we'll have to cut this off if that continues. But anyway, it's good seeing you guys. Y'all take care, all right?
See you
Hey,
soon.
thanks.